Hi, and welcome to Prepping Essentials. Well, we're in the kitchen. It's Sunday the 20th of September. Just been topping up a few little items on my preps. Did a little bit of shopping yesterday and took the chance to grab a few more items. I'm just going to do a bit of vacuum sealing, but thought we'd have a little quick kitchen chat rather than a cabin chat because today I'm tied up babysitting today, so no cabin. But we can still have a chat and talk about some of the more important things we should be doing right now. So as I said, I've topped up on a few little things to put away in the long-term food storage. I've got lots of sugar, but it never hurts to just add the odd one here and there. You might have noticed, depending on where you live, but here in the UK we're just about to go into a second lockdown. Half the country, as of I think it's Tuesday that the last one kicks in, but as of Tuesday the entire northern half of the country is going to be in lockdown, and I'll guarantee that this flour will start disappearing again from the shelves. It's already in short supply. There isn't that much of it kicking around in the supermarkets, so I've got a couple of each, plain and self-raising flour, just to add to the long-term stores. Also grabbed a couple of packets of spaghetti. I have got lots of pasta, but I can't say I've got a huge amount of this long string type spaghetti. And I noticed that these were still at a really good price, 99 pence for half a kilo of sultanas. And you know that I use those in different baking items. So I've grabbed a couple of those and I'll pop those into long-term store as well. So I'll set myself cracking with the food sealer, get these bagged up and vacuum sealed, and we'll get these set aside into the long-term stores. And then if I've got time, maybe we'll do a little living room chat rather than a cabin chat about what's going on with this medical issue that we're all suffering from at the moment. Can't emphasise enough how good these machines are. I've had this one now for, I think it's coming up for a year that I've had this, and so far, touch wood, I've never had an issue with it, apart from pasta. Which for some reason, I think it's because the pasta I get is the ones with the little tubes. I just cannot get those to seal, so they just sit in their normal bag as they come from the supermarket. But everything else, including these, this is a 1.5 kilo bag of flour rather than the kilo that I normally get, but it was there. It was a good price, and as I say, there's not an awful lot of flour kicking around, and literally all we're doing is making a bit of a cut in the original package that it comes in, slip that inside the bag, and then pop it into the vacuum sealing machine and press the button. Just help it squish a little bit as the machine does its thing. Get it nicely firmed down into a nice little brick. It's finished sucking the air and it's just sealing the edge of the bag now. But as always, I give it 2 seals rather than 1, just to be on the safe side. We don't want it leaking out. So that's the first one done. A nice little brick of self-raising flour. And there it is. So I'll get a few more of these done. I don't know, it's going to take me about 20 minutes to wade my way through these. And I'll get those popped into long-term stores with all the others. Well, that's everything vacuum sealed into little bricks. It really is impressive how this works. Always like a little kid with a new toy when I do this. Every time it never ceases to amaze me how it works. But anyway, that's all done. You can go up into long-term stores, and once I've got everything tidied away, maybe we can have a little quick chat. Well, apologies for the lack of cabin chat today. I've been tied up on babysitting duties all day, and the day's been full of making pancakes and chocolate muffins, which is a bit different to what I normally do, but hey, everything's a learning experience. So yeah, I just thought I'd take a quick chance to catch up, say hi to everyone. I hope you're all doing well wherever you are. If you're in the UK, then you'll know that after this weekend we're entering even more restrictions with COVID-19 than we have since March, really, when we were in full national lockdown. Gradually over the last couple of weeks, different regions of the country have gone into lockdown, and Tuesday, I think it is, a big chunk of the northwest of the country also goes into lockdown. So that's pretty much a line from Manchester and Sheffield north. I don't know how many millions of people that is in total, but it's got to be a fair chunk. I would hazard a guess that we're talking 20 plus million people. There's also talk about other regions of the country also following suit over the coming weeks if the R number doesn't come back down. A couple of big parts of Wales have gone into lockdown this last week, and I see in the news today that they think that London might only be a few days away from going into a lockdown as well. So this long-awaited second wave or spike seems to be here with us now. It certainly is for the northern half of the country anyway. And I've noticed over the last couple of weeks that items of foodstuffs have started to go into short supply. I know that last week the pasta aisles were pretty much empty. The baking aisle with things like flour have been not empty but limited supply for a few weeks now. There was a big rush, if you remember, when lockdown started, and we had lots of panic buying, so rice, tinned meat, pasta, all kinds of baking items, they just went completely, along with the famous toilet rolls. And although stocks did come back, I have noticed that some items haven't been in as plentiful supply, and flour was one of those. And a lot of stuff has gone up as well in price. Tinned meat seems to have gone up in price as well. So I hope you have all been just gradually topping up as you do your weekly shop, because it seems that we're heading back towards that panic buy season, and certainly as we head towards Christmas, which is a traditional time when people stock up anyway, ready for the Christmas holidays, and for having lots more people around and eating a lot more because they're not at work. I think it's only a matter of time before we do start to see shelf stripping in the supermarkets. So as always, I've just kept topping up as and when I go. I don't buy lots of things extra. I buy maybe the odd 2 or 3 items on top of my normal food basket. So nobody can accuse me of stockpiling or hoarding or panic buying myself. But if you're not topping up your preps, I would encourage you to do so. And I think it is only a matter of weeks away now before we're into almost a national lockdown. Don't know how things are with American viewers. I do try and keep on top of the news there. It does seem to be quite chaotic as you head towards your election season in November. It's going to be interesting to see what does happen. Whoever wins, I suspect that there'll be some dispute. But more importantly, I guess, on the horizon is the aftermath of the workplace furlough scheme here in the UK. I think you had a similar thing in the US where people were being paid for not being at work. In fact, I think in the US you actually got checks sent out in the post to all households. That would have been nice if we'd done that in the UK, because fortunately or unfortunately, depending on the way you look at it, I've never stopped working, and there's quite a substantial amount of people like myself who have worked all through the coronavirus crisis that we've had, where there have been several millions off work and been paid for being off work on the furlough scheme, and okay, probably not millions, but I would think a good few 100,000 upwards have been at home on what they call shielding, so kind of self-isolation for their own protection because they had some kind of underlying medical condition. There's been a lot off work, but they're all gradually drifting back, and I think even in these regional lockdowns that we're having, they're not sending people home from work on pay, and I don't even think that they're telling people that were shielding before to leave, or certainly they're not at the moment. So I think the big disaster that's coming as we head towards the end of the year is the economic fallout from COVID. We've seen, I think it's about 3.5 million so far in the UK that have been added to the unemployment register. Might not sound a lot for you American viewers, because you've had a lot more than that. But since our total population is only something around 70 million, 3 million extra is a lot. And as we head into October, the furlough scheme, government paying you for being at home, that comes to an end. And I don't think I'm alone in suspecting that a huge amount of those people that have been getting paid for not going to work, I don't think that their jobs are going to be there waiting for them when the furlough scheme finishes. So that 3.5 million that we've had so far extra unemployed, I would hazard a guess you can easily double that as we head towards Christmas. And that's going to have a major impact, certainly. That amount of people going out of work and onto welfare payments is bad enough, but the fact that those jobs have disappeared for good is only going to make life more difficult to find another job. So yeah, the economic crisis is the one that I would be looking at rather than this continuation of COVID. Might sound a little bit heartless, I don't know of another word really, for me to say that the COVID disease itself isn't the actual problem, but I have repeated in several videos, it's the actual economic impact that's going to be the long-lasting and bigger problem. Yes, unfortunately, we have seen deaths, whether they're due to COVID or have been kind of exacerbated by COVID. I don't think anyone will really know for sure. But the numbers are minimal compared to the whole population of the country. Whereas the numbers that are going to be impacted by the economic downturn that we're going through now and will continue to go through for at least a couple of years, I think, that is the real killer for families, because lack of income from whatever means that is will have a pretty devastating impact. People will struggle to live day to day, the normal things that you would purchase, but also I suspect we're going to see a big spike in home repossessions. I think you call it foreclosure in the US, where the bank takes back the property. So that is a disaster for the family concerned, but it adds to another economic disaster, as government needs to pick up the pieces and somehow fund accommodation for those people. So if you are prepping, please do continue to keep adding to your long-term preps. You are likely going to need them, whether that's through difficulties going shopping or shortages in the shops, even if you can go shopping, or the potential for job loss. I think that it's a very real prospect for an awful lot of people as we head towards the end of the year. So take advantage of the fact that everything, okay, it's a little bit more difficult to do the normal day-to-day things, but it's not impossible. And certainly food supply is still there on the supermarket shelves. So take advantage of it while that is the case, because if we do go into another full-blown lockdown, the supply chain will suffer and things won't be as readily available, but also this economic impact. I wouldn't wish it on anyone to lose their jobs, but unfortunately I suspect that what we've seen so far is just the tip of the iceberg, and we're going to see an awful lot more as we head into towards the end of the year and the start of next year. So a bit of a gloomy chat, I'm afraid, there, but it's a message that I do feel I should keep reinforcing, because COVID is only in its infancy, really. The big medical problem, I think, is out of the way, as medical provision has adapted to suit the disease. Vaccinations are coming in the short-term horizon, but the economic impact is really only just starting. So please do keep on top of your preps. If you haven't started prepping already, do it. Don't even think about it, just do it. Even if you're just starting off small, small is better than nothing. And just take full advantage of whatever time you do have to start putting aside supplies of the essentials that you need: food, water, toiletries, hygiene, sanitation, clothes, equipment, tools. The list is pretty endless, but that's kind of the order to do it in. So rewind that bit and make a list. It's Sunday afternoon, so back to normal tomorrow and back to work. If I do get chance and finish my babysitting duties, I might just pop down to the field just to pop a bit of water on those plants that I put in yesterday, and make sure that they're all right and have a fairly good fighting chance of progressing on to full-blown plants. Whether they will or they won't, time will tell, I guess. We are heading towards the end of September already. It's not traditional planting season by any stretch of the imagination, but if you don't experiment and test, you're never going to know, are you? So that's kind of my philosophy for all of my prepping. I just keep plugging away at it, trying new things, trying different ways of doing things, and see what works, and then learn from that for the next time around. The harvest from yesterday, absolutely amazed at the amount of potatoes and the condition of the potatoes that came out. They were all really clean, no marks on them at all. They look really good, and indeed, I think in less than an hour I'll be cooking up some of those potatoes and some of the carrots as part of my dinner meal for today, and I'm quite looking forward to those. I did plant a couple of extra potatoes. I didn't actually video it while I was doing it. It was kind of an afterthought just before I left. But one of those barrels, I just popped, I think I popped 6 tubers in. In all honesty, I'm not really expecting those to be a success. If the ones that I put in the other week produce potatoes, I will be astounded, because that will be heading towards Christmas by the time that they reach maturity. So I'm not really expecting a great deal. But as I said, if you don't try, you'll never find out. So fingers crossed over the next few weeks that we don't get any early frosts. And again, fingers crossed we don't get too harsh winter. And you never know, I might be doing a potato reveal in the week before Christmas. How nice would that be? And even nicer would be if I was harvesting some new cauliflowers as well. But we'll see as we go on. So that's it for today. I just took this opportunity to have a quick escape from the madding crowds of the babysitting duties. But best of luck with everyone with this lockdown that's coming into force this week here in the UK. Best of luck to everybody wherever you are in the world with COVID or what other crisis you might be facing as we go through the rest of this year. And we'll catch up with you in the next video. Well, that's it for this video. Short and to the point, I'm afraid today. I've been tied up all day elsewhere, but I didn't want to miss the opportunity just to say hi and to urge everyone to keep on top of the preps. So hopefully there was something in there that was of interest to you. If you did like the video, please do click on the like button. Also feel free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. As always, welcome any comments, questions or suggestions you might have. Have you noticed any shortages in the supermarkets of late? And are you affected by lockdown version 2? If so, let me know in the comments section below. But for now, thanks for watching and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.